We've gone up 2 cards, I think. Hello everyone and welcome back. Today we're going to be reapproaching my favorite deck to currently play on the ladder. I have kind of gotten over the Esper variation of it, as I think Sheltered by Ghosts has significantly gotten worse in the meta just a bit, just because the aggro decks are all kind of now Boros and they always kind of have that protection spell or their own Sheltered by Ghosts, which is very hard for us to play around, and the mana issues do oftentimes cause problems. With that, I'm going to play Dimir. In this version of the deck, I've been having a lot of fun with. It is currently my favorite deck to play, just like Golgari was in the past, or Orzhov, because I just love the drawing cards off of Entity Tracker or the Curiosity, and then stacking that up with Faerie Masterminds that we now added into the deck. This is the one piece of the deck that is probably the most... I think it's the only card, like, really we add. We changed some counts on some cards, but we added Mastermind, and the reason why is because so many people are trying to draw cards, whether it's the Unholy Annexes or it's like the 2-drop Golgari creature that they cycle to draw a card, or even red sometimes draws a card, well, the Boros version, when they flash in those enchantments to draw. And Faerie Mastermind is just able to get us more cards in our hand, and oftentimes if we're drawing cards pretty consistently, at least 2, like roughly a whole turn cycle, whether that's 2 cards on our opponents, or say we draw 3 cards on one turn and only 1 on another, as long as we got our average about 2 cards per turn whenever we get our engines on, it feels very hard to lose with this deck overall, because eventually you'll just kind of win by 1,000 cuts if you need to, with like Hopeless Nightmare, or like something like a Curiosity and a Tracker can just beat them down with the Mastermind in the air, things like that. So other than that, the main plan, if you have not seen this deck before, we'll just go over it very quickly and just hop right into the games. The main plan is to make our opponent discard pretty much as often as possible if we can, until they run out of cards, and then we use cards for other purposes. So right now we have a Hopeless Nightmare as our 1-drop. We do not play the Tiny Bones one, but I talk about that in the outro a bit if you're curious. But Hopeless Nightmare is just enter the battlefield, they discard a card, they lose 2 life. This is the 1,000 cuts card, if you remember me saying that just a moment ago. So this card, we play it over and over again using a Fear of Isolation. So whenever we cast a spell, we return a permanent we control back to our hand, being oftentimes the Hopeless Nightmare, but this has other purposes as well, which we'll get to. Other than that, we have Bandit's Talent. We definitely enjoy this card a lot, because sometimes if they only have lands in hand, they get to discard 2. If not, most of the time it's going to make them discard 1. But this has the built-in win condition of if they have 1 or fewer cards in the hand, they take 2 damage, and that comes up quite often in today's video. So very important card and piece for our deck here. But Fear of Isolation also goes well against Nowhere to Run. Boros, Mice, or Aggro is probably by far the most popular version of red that I have been playing against, and this card just makes them wince and cry. This card is probably by far the best one to deal with it, as it turns off Hexproof and Ward does not trigger. So we can cast this, remove their creature, pick it back up with the Fear of Isolation, because cast, pick it back up, and then we can use it to remove another creature, and that's kind of those 2 cards per turn thing I was talking about. Or we can use like Liliana, of course, to minus and make them sack. Other than that, we just have kind of value creatures to get us cards as much as possible, whether that is a Faerie Mastermind drawing off of our opponent's drawing, or we can just activate it for 4-mana mode. Oftentimes, if they're empty-handed, we'll be willing to do that to put extra cards in their hand, because we'll be taking the cards out of their hand anyway. Or Enduring Curiosity. This is a very nice card. We're playing it over Gix, as the damage sometimes matters. We don't have a ton of life gain, but this also has Flash to kind of go with our other creatures with Flash here. And then we have Entity Tracker. Nothing feels better than a turn where this is in play. You cast a Hopeless Nightmare, draw a card, cast a Fear of Isolation, draw a card, put the Hopeless Nightmare back into play, drawing another card. So we spent 3 mana. We used 2 cards that we already had in hand. We use 1 card twice. We get 3 new cards in our hand off of Entity Tracker, and then a lot of things can happen from there. So other than that, we're going to hop right into the games. Let's see how they go. And if you all enjoy my content, please consider subscribing, and let's go make them discard. As you can see, my deck says, Dimir, please discard. Very toxic title from your boy, but yeah, let's just go dive in. Oh boy. Oh, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. This one. Yeah, we got stuff. Hey, that ain't a counter spell. I know that much. No counter spell if it's 2 tap lands. You know what I'm saying? The thing. Oh, I don't like that. That back. You don't need that. You don't need that at all, actually. I know you don't. Fire this off. Hopeless Nightmare does damage, and it's way easier for the pickup loops, so kind of like having it around over anything else. But that basically made them discard, and now we'd fire this off. We hit him with another discard. I'm saving this Lair for if I ever draw anything. So is this Demir Demons then? I have multiple flash creatures. Very cool. I guess I'm gonna fire this up. And then I'm gonna look to flash in his Mastermind. Yeah. Go ahead. Did get rid of a Jace. Yeah. I also didn't really want to play this because this card's way better if it resolves and they have to remove it, but it looks like they're gonna have removal here. Anoint, that's fine. Nowhere to run. Probably a dead card in the match, but I'm gonna play this, put it on black, I guess. Fire up this Bandit talent. You have 2 mana for the discard effects. Or whatever need be. Fire this up as well. And then next, we can just start pumping them if we want, or we can just go for like a curiosity on their end step. Alright. End step. Sure. Going for something here? I'll play this. I should have waited until after they chose with this, but I'm just putting it in play. Arena likes to skip some stuff sometimes, so oftentimes I like to just get it out of the way. Yeah, that doesn't do it. I have a curiosity, and it will be swinging. Best part about curiosity is Jace actually doesn't even shut it off. I still have 1 power on it, so I'll still get the card draw, which matters a ton for us. Where to runs, I suppose. Combat. Attack. Don't mean it, brother. Don't mean that. Sure. This up. I guess I'll put a stop on my upkeep and sack his Hopeless Nightmare just to draw a way to pick it up. Honestly, like any draw's fine here with me, I think. That's a pretty good one. Then I'll just pass here. They go for anything though. Still gonna wait for tracker on their end step. Because if they remove tracker before my turn starts, then so be it. Or they counter it, then I have like an operational turn. No land in that hand, huh? Or they're just holding them because they don't need it to operate. I will probably fire off a Nowhere to Run just to draw a card. Huh? Okay. I will level this up. If they ever get to the point that my Bandit talents are turned on, they are pretty screwed, to be honest, because that'll be so many cards we're putting in our hand. I mean, I'm in there. A little bit of chip damage goes a long way, you know. Get our draws now. Sure. Like my deck's a weird one to do that too. But they definitely are playing the Doomsday pile, I think. Maybe they found a land or something. Hey, you did. Look at you go. This doesn't allow Doomsday, I guess. So maybe they're not. Who knows? Sure. Nothing going on there. Shouldn't have played our land quite yet. I could pick up this Curiosity, but that seems like a bad idea. I'll do this one. Take a card draw. I would like to go to combat. Because here's the other thing. If there are Doomsday Pile, they lose the game just because of the fact that I also have a Restless Reef. Most of the time, anyway. They could, however, counter this if they wanted to. This is a discard and draw card. I think they have another robbery. My own card's gonna betray me. That's crazy. My own card out here to betray me. Where to run results first before the card draw. Hey, that card's pretty sick. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm just not even gonna do anything. I gotta just keep waiting. I'll just slam a Virtue next turn if I have to. I have 4 damage on board. They gotta figure it out themselves. I don't know. Yeah. I'm in there. Yeah. Okay. I'd like to draw more cards. Hey, there's a couple of Lilianas to go on retainer there. I'll go for a Surveil here. I mean, it's probably fine. Most of their creatures are 6 toughness anyway, so Liliana numero uno. Oh, now we care about what I'm doing. Like Liliana, too good. I don't know about the second one, dude. Or maybe they do. I don't know. Second one? I'm in there.
This fight finished before brunch.
I think Nashi's kind of whatever at this point.
Tired of your secrets.
I guess I'll just pass this turn. I dead to 2 Jaces. I'm pretty close. It's really close to being dead to 2 Jaces. But, I mean, they're both in... There's 2 in the graveyard, so I feel like the odds of dying to it is not high. Yeah. I would like... Plus. Let's get rid of a single nowhere to run. Maybe. 3 steps ahead, sure. Let's fire this off. Pick this up. They cast triggers, so it happens regardless. Take a draw. Surveil here before I draw off my Hopeless Nightmare. Alright, sweet. Let us move to 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I guess I can now use this. I guess I can use a demo field. Yeah, I don't want to do that. Go to combat first. These ones. We get this 4 damage in. We do. Okay. Draws. Pick. All right. I have the win conditions. Hopeless Nightmare is pretty good when you draw like 20 of them, you know? Huh? Also, I assembled Exodia. They don't know it, but I assembled it. I said when you draw 20 of them, and I just drew more and more and more. Sick. Yeah. So opponent first, their hand's really solid. We'll keep. Have a lot of kind of interaction that we definitely want. I will play the Reef first. Gotta get this tap lane out of the way, you know. You know how it goes. Sweet. They're like the mirror, dude. I can't take the mirror. Like I wish I was the mirror. Mirror on the wall. My favorite Lil Wayne and Bruno Mars song. Alright. Well, we can go for Bandit's Talent or we can go for the cycle here, and I like going for the cycle. Alright. Are you countering this one? That would make sense to me. That's what you'd like to do. It does essentially the same thing, but them using a counterspell means they won't have like extras in hand. Okay, perfect. That's like using a counterspell, but worse. That's exactly what we want to see. I'm gonna crush his hand from now on, I think. Okay, that sucks. That's a little tough. I understand now why they went for that. -2. Sure. All right, there's no lands there, so that's pretty cool. Oh boy. The worst time to draw the tracker because it's just like it just happens after that. They go for another draw. They're missing land.
I know where to find all the
Brother, that was 7 cards without a land. One. No. It better not be another Anoint. Okay, I'm okay with that. If it was another Anoint, I was gonna be a little upset. That's 8 cards in a row without a land, by the way. Like all these happened before. That has to plus this time.
you can be made to
Oh no. A demon could come. Do you think it's possible that I draw a land? Oh, I do. Another land. Sick. I'll take all these. This one, I guess. Let's do the repeatable one. If they happen to both be lands, that's great, but I doubt it. Oh. Boring. Yeah, I like all these decks. I just don't like Jace that much. At least I don't mind it as much now because it's going into like the mill win condition. But man, did I hate Jace when it was just like blue-white control. All right, here's a Jace, soul partition it, replay it, mill. You know, like that. That always drove me up a wall. You're gonna get rid of my Bandit's Talent? Are you scared of my Bandit's Talent? It kind of makes sense. I kinda, it just would. I just try to drain him to death, I guess. Kind of force him to have to use this Jace. Right. Yeah. They are very close to dying. We basically have to dodge. All right, they go for a mill. And they do the mill first, so that means if they do draw the demon, it's not necessarily, we're not necessarily in trouble. So I have 2 damage. I have pick up Nightmare. I have play Nightmare. I have pick up Fear, play Fear, pick up Nightmare. I got stuff. I don't know. I guess the only thing I'm afraid of though. So 2. Yeah, so 2, 4, 6, 8. So I think I'm just short. I mean, I could bring this up as well, I suppose. But I just don't think I get there. Let's just try to pick off this Jace. They let it go. That's copy number 3, I think. No, it's only copy number 2. Sure. They're taking a look to see if they find something, I think. I get through. Bro, how many phases are we in? Like, let me hit this thing or not. I feel like we've gone through 9 phases. Is that worth it? I don't think so. I do not think it's worth it. I thought about it. I thought about it a lot, actually. Jace just gets the plus here, so it's not even that bad. Jace doesn't even have a target's plus on now. And if I can do this, or maybe find some extra stuff, or maybe even the Restless Reef will get there. I have no idea. That's the thing. Even if they play it, if they are truly on the demon deck, like, they are. Okay. They have, what, 5 cards? They can -1 me? If that's what they want to do? Actually just kill him regardless. It doesn't matter. Okay. That draw is sick. That's why we put him in the deck, you know? Imagine getting your Doom to resolve and just not enough. I'm pretty sure it's not enough. I don't know. There's no way to draw. Yeah, the band's talent triggers first. Okay, sweet. I was like, I don't know if there's a card in their deck if the okay. I should have known that's not how it would happen, because there's a thing where active player and non-active player happens. I knew they got a card draw from this. I wasn't entirely sure if this triggered at the same time that this triggered, but they're both upkeep. This is also at the beginning of upkeep, I believe. Yeah. So what happens is this trigger does technically happen first, like it goes on the stack first. But then my trigger goes on the stack, and the way that Magic works is first in, last out of the stack, if you don't know how that works. So this goes on the stack to draw a card, and then this exists. And if they had something, I don't know, like a quick study, for example, they could have drawn that, or 3 steps ahead. Well, I guess that kind of doesn't work either. But a way to draw cards that they would live through this, because sometimes they do have it. And the Deuce is a great example. They can draw one, sack the token, draw another, and then draw another, and then they can just activate Jason Mill me. So if they had a Deuce, for example, if this would have resolved first. But other than that, we win the game. Very close one, but we come out on top. All right, sure. Yeah, I might throw up. Don't worry, team, it'll be fine. This on black. We can play that for blue if we need to. Oh. Are you blue-white control, or are you hottie gen? You tell me. Alright, so you're blue-white control. Sweet. Actually, I guess they could cast Moment of Truth here. Or the 2-mana card. I don't know. Maybe removal? Or maybe they are. Yeah. Sure. Interesting. I'm playing against some Magic the Gathering cards, that's for sure. I'm not worried about doing anything here, I think. Sure. Right? I'm the only one that's confused right now. What's going on? I haven't seen... You're wondering why I'm confused is because that creature has flash. But, besides the point. This one, I guess. I'll have you pick that back up. And I'll play this. And I'll pick this back up. Here, maybe. Yes. They're... What are we? Opponent, what are we? Who are we? What are we? Counterspell? I am in there. I am no longer in there. Interesting decision we have to make. I'll let them draw one card if they want to play this at instant, like sorcery speed. Yep. Sure. Draw one card. If I can find my discard stuff, we can really grind this game out. A tap land there. Sure. Sure. That's fine with me. Get all these out of here. I guess. They really want to bring up that land and hit me with it. So be it. Well, I guess if they're flooding, that'd be a great idea. Sure. Maybe I should have bounced this again. I don't know, it's just like annoying. You just have an annoying amount of cards. Like, that's how it's felt thus far. Nashi. They kept up 2 mana for a reason, so we'll pass. Okay. I thought maybe I was having a fever dream or something on how they keep drawing that card. Yeah. I mean, I've drawn a ton of Hopeless Nightmares and stuff, so I can't even be that surprised, to be honest. But I haven't drawn any yet in this match, but we can try her best. Blood Pit's Drowner. Very fun and interesting card, that's for sure. Okay. Vigilance. Wild. Let's flash this in. I know about it. Oh, result. And now it's going to get popped. Okay, sweet. Interesting way. No, I'm good. Now she has to make contact, and if my 4/5 flyer could actually participate in the game, I feel way better off. Get in there. The block's available. I'll grab both of those, I suppose. Losing my cap. How many lands do you have, brother? Huh. This, I guess, is the way I'm going to go about this turn. How I'm going to go about it. Maybe they do only have like, there's just like, wait. Wow. Okay. Alright. I mean, like the only reason I'm even close to this game is they've flooded like crazy. This card's so annoying. That's why we play it. Oh yeah, another smite on top. Rather, I don't know if we leave that one on top. Alright, go to combat. Maybe they have another one in hand. Watch. Ooh, no. Alright, well, that's a counter. Try this, I guess. I could get an automatic draw here, but we just wait. Give me another drowner with flash, dude. I was just, I will lose my mind. Did you reanimate the right one? So I'm not gonna block or anything here. Just gonna fire off this nowhere. Look at their draw. I'll be very happy about it. I'll be very upset about it. Honestly, the worst part is this smite sucks for us really bad, actually. Sure. They just keep getting draws. Eventually, they're just going to hit all non-land cards, which I think is probably roughly where they're at now. Okay. All right. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. I wonder what they get rid of here. Well, let's play this on black and get our card draw first. What? I have no idea what my opponent's playing, dude. Also, I know that it doesn't stop that. They only get so big, but they can get multiple to get big. So that could be, this is what? 3 counters at 5, 6, 7. 8 at most, I guess. You're in there. I wonder what they smite. It's gotta be Nashi, right? I hope it's the tracker. Nashi is like the best of the two here. One's like a guaranteed draw, one's not. Yeah, they guessed right. Gross. Ah, man, just drawing these lands is gonna be tough, huh? Interesting. Here comes 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe. Sure. Oh, another cat. Oh, they mill it over. Okay. I mean, you're going to draw that card. I feel like the cat's fine to flash in, no? What do you have for me? I have a couple of draws that are actually pretty solid, if we can find them. Demolition Field's already a good one. If we have a way to bounce one of these nowhere to runs, we can interact with the other creature with flying. Okay. We leave that on top. Oh, or we just draw nowhere to run, I guess. That also seems better than bad. Is this a combat angle here? Yeah, I guess I try to maximize my card draw and then they just smite me again, I guess. I guess it doesn't even work because of like 3 steps ahead. I have no idea. I mean, obviously we have to pick up this. They already have counterspell available, so it's not like it changes much. That's only a 2/3, so I guess I'm not technically dead to it either, right? Yeah. Let's go for a Bandit's talent here. This game is going to stress me out, dude. Could go for a Faerie Mastermind, but then the counter spell's down. All right, Enduring Curiosity is something they could have flashed in. Double Nowhere to Run. I think means I hold up Nowhere to Run, right? ×2. Sure. Activate this. You have to be able to activate and double counter spell, I suppose. Yeah. That explains why they got rid of this cat, by the way, because they already had another one in hand. They go down? Are you that confident? It's a 2/3. Not living at 1 here. Oh. Sure. I'm a 1 life gamer. At that 1 life. I'm at that 1 life peak right now. The opponent. What do we got going on? Fire this off now. I would like to go into my turn with you having as little cards in hand as possible, if I can. Sure. This one? You like to counter this spell. I have a Liliana for backup too. And I get a card draw at this instead, which is sick. And I definitely have lethal on board. Interesting way this game is kind of shaping up. I really thought I was just losing. I don't know if the early game I played this game that well, but with that said, I probably should not like rush to anything here. Guess we just try to get to combat here. Yeah, I think we just try to get to combat here. We're in. Yeah. Sweet. Have we even drawn a Hopeless Nightmare, by the way? No. Okay. Cool. So a couple things we can do. Let's play an untapped source, because I think I want as much mana as possible. I fire off a Liliana. Kind of force a counterspell, which they cannot do. And then I can also plus. They do have the option to draw with this 3 steps ahead. All right, they counter that. That's fine. And those will end up winning. So what I was saying is they could let technically... I don't even know if that works. I don't know. We ended up winning that game. I don't think the beginning I played it all too well, but we came out on top. Definitely gonna watch it back and kind of be like, it's one of the things like I have a problem with is sometimes like I have this like innate problem of, man, I don't want to play this game for 10 minutes if I know I'm going to lose. So sometimes like that crawls into my brain. It's like, oh, I should just concede here. But like, it was like a pressure, but not enough. And I also didn't know what they were playing. Like, I really had no idea for like the longest time. But we win, I guess. I don't feel great about it. We go first. We have Surveil Land and some cool cards. Yeah, we'll definitely keep a hold of this hand. Honestly, one of the best part about Faerie Mastermind in the deck so far, even though I haven't really seen it much, it's just like having a hand like this that I can technically keep. All right. So, ideal matchup for the Nowhere to Run. This is definitely the deck that we want to see when this comes up because the protection spells just don't work. Uh-huh. Sure. I'll flash this in. Yeah. Sure. I will play this land. We can sit here. I'll sit here all day, dude. I'm ready to sit down and have a good time. Are you? The only problem is no way to bounce to nowhere to run here, which is obviously a little eerie for us. Faerie Mastermind will most likely be blocking this Heartfire hero. If they go for a Shelter by Ghost, Ethereal Armor. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just not. I ain't even. Nah. Don't get the counter, so even like a Monstrous Rage plus a protection spell or 2 protection spells just doesn't get there because they miss out on this counter. So yeah, we'll take no damage here, and we get rid of one of their best auras. I played the dog meat commander deck today. Holy cow, that thing can be crazy, and it can happen so quick too. Not opposed to that because it'll give me a draw. I'll pass. Sure. We're lying, by the way. We're fully lying here. Is it better to block? Like I said, I think blocking actually tells them we have nothing. Is that weird? Is that weird to think? But I'm pretty sure I'm right. I think if I'm in their shoes and I see a block, I fire off a Monstrous Rage, but I could be wrong. All right, they feel the weakness a bit there, I think. But like, I think the Tracker's a pretty good card. I like playing it. Pretty good draw. Pretty good draw for your boy. Sometimes a plan comes together. Also, kind of funny that they did that with my Faerie Mastermind, but let's cast this Fear. Let's pick this up. I think I fired off right here and now. Take my draw. We're in there. Just like that, we have we've gone up 2 cards, I think. Yes, sir. When a plan comes together, sometimes it comes together in the best way possible. All right, here we are playing my favorite variation of Dimir right now. And honestly, a lot of it comes down to me just being a kind of a wimp. I personally, especially in Best of One, I personally just don't like playing mirrors that much. I think it sucks because you don't get quite as fun of games in mirrors. I think sometimes mirrors are great, but some mirrors are just so draw dependent based on like what you end up hitting over your opponent. For example, like if we're in this matchup and I'm in the mirror with this, who drew the Liliana? Post like everybody's discard. And if you drew Liliana, did your opponent draw the tracker or not? Because like Liliana is really bad if it's looking at a tracker and then they start playing enchantments. So it just becomes this like really weird game where it's like, I don't know if Lily's good because they track her, I lose. But then if I'm the tracker player and they kill it with like a nowhere to run, or they get to play their own, then nowhere to run it, then I don't draw anything. It's just like this weird game. I don't know. But honestly, more of like watching domain mirrors for so long, it wasn't fun to watch. Or blue-white control mirrors. It's just like, it is what it is. But outside of that, this deck has run great. I have an overwhelming like win-loss record, I think, with blue-black, this kind of deck. Sometimes you got to draw pretty lucky, but that's sometimes best of one in a nutshell overall. But other than that, Nashi has been the best addition that this deck could have probably asked for. I think is a very overwhelming one. Along with the Curiosity, I think this fact that this has Flash is so good. And as you can see, I kind of prioritize that a bit more. Blue-black, the reason Faerie Mastermind has gotten so much more love recently is because you're just getting free card draw if you're playing this. And that is one of our problems. As long as we're able to draw cards, I know it's hard to do in standard, but like if we can draw 2 cards a turn at some point, not even our turn, a turn cycle, so our turn and their turn, if we could draw 2 cards, it feels entirely unbeatable. Whether that is we use a Fear of Isolation and pick up a card, I'm kind of counting that as a card draw, for example, because I'm reusing the same card over and over again. So if we're able to kind of get that value, I feel like this deck is in a really solid spot and very hard to beat when we're doing that. The only cards that I'm a little so-so on, but I do like them, but I don't like them for certain reasons. One, having these type of creatures in people's decks where they die and they come back can help our opponent grind out a game, which I do not like. But it's the Virtue. I think Virtue is a great way to gain life, but I think outside of that, it is just like at best a card we can pick up with Nashi and use. But overall, like if we're playing this and we're winning, it's not because we're putting our creatures into play. I don't know what this should be. Maybe a Ghost Vacuum or something, or maybe just like a Tiny Bones in here, so I do have more picks with the Fear of Isolation, and Tiny Bones can trigger off like Nashi and get value. But other than that, maybe like the 4th Mastermind, maybe the 4th Nashi, or just stuff like that. I think I would get more value than my Virtue is. But I also went down a land. I was on 25. And that's because we were playing a lot of these and a lot more of these, and we weren't playing a lot of this like 1 mana. We're slowly going down the curve. We were only in like 3 drops for a while, and then we added some higher cards. I think Curiosity is almost uncuttable. I do have 2 instead of 3 because we went down on a land, but that was to add Faerie Mastermind, which was fitting the same role a bit, which oftentimes Faerie Mastermind is going to draw us as well. And just the turn like that last game where I just have a flash creature and a flash creature that I don't really have to do anything against the Boros aggro deck is so nice, where like I think where this card struggles is, am I playing this on turn 2 against my aggro opponent? Probably not, right? I need to hold up my nowhere to run. Am I playing a Bandit's Talent? Maybe. It's good because at least hits a card in their hand. This kind of just sits there and gets trampled over, right? So it's just this weird game that you sometimes have to play. But I think this deck is sweet. Whether it's the best deck of all time, obviously, no. But at the same time, I think this deck is a lot more solid than maybe people will lead on or are willing to admit, maybe. But it was super fun. I enjoy it. If you want to play it, you could enjoy it too. And we could be bad people together, okay? You know what I'm saying? We could be bad players together. That'd be great. So with that said, I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.